off gotta turn off villains.
Gotta turn some stuff off.
All right. Hello, we're doing an hour of grime because Lawrence feels bad for celebrating the existence of his father. So
the day
we're
of
gonna do grime.
fathers.
You're wording it wrong.
What do you mean?
I don't feel bad. I just feel like I just want to get through this fucking game.
What's wrong, boyo? You seem to have a problem.
So many things. For example, it keeps taking my life.
You sound like the kind of person who's complaining about Blight Town.
What the fuck is?
I thought you played Dark Souls.
I'm a man from Browntown. I don't give a fuck about Blight Town.
I thought you played Dark Souls.
Mate, it's a joke. Chill.
I thought you played Dark Souls.
What's
I'll see you.
Dark Souls? Jesus Christ! I never heard of it.
Who plays Dark Souls in the year of our Lord, 2022?
I only know my good buddy John Dark Soul. If you're referring to him, I gotta tell you, he's. You're
I
right,
like
he's
just
a
putting
tough guy.
John in front of everything.
Yeah, I love it.
You remember how to dash.
I need a second. I need a second to remember the controls. That's dash.
And,
you know what? I'm just gonna do it here.
Lawrence asked me, what do I mean about warming up? What's your counter button? What's your counter button?
Your mom.
You.
Oh my god.
Just answer the fucking question.
How did we get to this
R1.
level?
There's...
Lawrence,
I
you need to
appreciate that
take
you
this
want me
more
to warm up.
seriously. Also, you have a projectile in you, but you didn't take any damage.
Yeah, that was a little funky.
Oh yeah, we had this guy's big thing.
Way easier than fucking befuddled abjugation or whatever it was called.
Ooh, he almost... Okay, he did. Never mind.
He's
All
warming
right.
up.
Let me
He was the first
look at
guy.
banter topics, because I know we have some stuff in here. Let's see. Banter topics. We have one from Jesse. We have one from Adrian.
They're all here.
We don't have much. Genuinely, we don't have many topics on here. But I do have a topic that I brought up during, back when, like 2 weeks ago when I was working at the office again. If you had to give a numerical value to a bunch, what would you say?
Numerical value.
Yeah.
4.
You think 4 is a
5.
bunch?
Yeah.
What'd you say, Lawrence?
What could be a bunch? 5.
I also said 5, and I don't know if this like, I don't know if this sounds familiar to you, Lawrence, but one of the reasons that I said 5 was that I often find that bushels of banana comes in groups of 5, and I consider that to be a bunch of bananas.
A bundle of bananas, but you're right. Yeah.
Right? So, there's that. And then, so that's a bunch, right? How much is a couple?
A couple's 2.
More than a bunch.
I remember
Can
this
I-
specifically.
But
A
less than
couple
many.
is 2.
Now, I would actually like to, like, in my opinion, I think a couple is 2 or 3.
The or is debatable. I just remember reading a book where this like person made like a pact with this like another individual. They're like, okay, we'll ask a couple of questions, and so she asked 2, and then after 2, he's like, okay, well that was a couple, and I was just like, really? Is that what it originally was back in whatever time place thing?
I think back in whatever time, place, thing can go fuck itself. We're in the 21st
When we
century.
do say a couple, Zach, a couple references 2 people.
Also not true.
What?
They are
Couple
a
does not
couple.
reference 2 people? What?
You
do
can
mean?
have a couple. You can have a couple of people, I guess, but like a couple of people is like 2 or 3.
But a couple is
I think
2.
she's referring to the romantic.
To the
couple.
romantic context, yes, I understand that.
So
Thank you.
so that reinforces the 2.
I don't think so. And I mean, you're allowed to say 2, because I think that
It's
more
also-
often than not it would be
Maybe
used as 2.
colloquially though, like people use a couple as like a range, but I think initially and inherently it means
like
2.
if you see like 2 or 3 people waiting in line at the grocery store, you can
Yes,
say
we
that there's
call
a
it
couple of people over there.
Yes, so that
Right.
reinforcing the colloquially, we've extended the definition a little bit, even though it doesn't mean to like multiple. It means 2. We've used it for more than 2.
But like I says, like 2 or 3. 4 is pushing it. 5 is a bunch, and that is no longer a couple.
A bunch of people.
How much is a few?
That's like 2. That's mine.
2 or
too.
3 again. I
You think a few? You think few is like 2?
A few people. 2 or 3.
So and I guess this kind of builds off of the next part. So I'm just gonna go immediately into asking, how much is many?
10-ish, maybe.
Okay.
Around there. Doesn't have to
Maybe.
be exact. 9 could work. Maybe 8.
Usually they say a lot of people. Wait, a bunch of people? 7? I don't know.
Good job, Lawrence.
That didn't do the good parry.
Yeah, about to say it didn't deal damage, but you still stunned him, which is what you want. But yeah,
He's
I'm about
got
to say,
it.
I think
Wait,
that
I spoke too
I
soon.
think that many, like a lot of people is like middle double digits. I think a lot of people is like 30 to 40 people, right? Many people is between 10 and 20 to me. And then a few people is between 5 and 10. Because if you're less than 5, I would say that that's a couple of people. Obviously, I'm saying this in the context of people, in the context of different objects and whatnot, and maybe these answers would be different, but that's how it is in my mind.
Just remember, Zach, if you get transported suddenly isekai'd into older times, don't say a couple. Just say, I have some questions.
Because if you ask more than 2, they'll kill you.
They'll kill you.
How much is a boatload?
How many people normally fit on a boat?
That's a crazy, insane question.
What kind of
that's a
boat are we
valid
talking
question.
about?
That's
also.
Okay, what size boat?
I would say a rowboat.
Isn't that like
You think
1
so?
or 2?
You think a boatload is like 5 people?
But like a boatload, as in like the rowboats.
Are you
or
talking about
the
like a deep
the
sea row?
lifeboats.
Like a lifeboat?
A
Okay.
lifeboat,
So
yeah.
So a light. Oh, you know what? That one makes a lot more sense because a lifeboat is supposed to be like 20 to 30 people, I think. So that makes more sense, I guess. But like when I always think of boatload, I usually think of somebody who's referring to like a shipping container vessel, if that makes any sense.
That is a lot of people.
And that's what I mean, like what, like a boatload of cars, or I bought a boatload of fucking whatevers from the store. Like that's usually what I think of, is that it's in like a shipping context, not necessarily lifeboat. But lifeboat's an interesting perspective that I hadn't considered. Holy shit, you just took out half your life bar.
It's fine. It works.
Oof.
Ooh, a 3rd. Tricky Tilly.
Nice. Let's see. Did I have any more on this list?
Bro. Damn, bro.
Oh yeah. How much is a little?
Like, can you give me it in a sentence?
That's a good question, actually. In the context that we've been talking about, I guess little doesn't really fit in the same way. Little still does. I guess little applies more to volume of something, not number of something. Because like
Sure.
I'm trying to think of like I had. Yeah, because little is like size or volume, so never mind. I guess that's not really a numerical value. Because the other one that I had on here was ton and fuck ton.
A ton of people?
A ton of people is like a lot. I legitimately think a ton of people
lot.
is like 2,000 people. genuinely.
Yeah, more or less.
You know, because
I know
a ton is
sometimes
1,000
depends
pounds or
on
2,000 pounds.
depends on if you're not used to going out. A ton of people could mean like 20.
That is true.
Depends on how many
Genuinely,
you're
that does make a
comfortable
lot
with.
of sense. Yeah.
2 people could be too many.
That's true. It is literally too many. You could pull that. But can we all agree, and I know Saba can't physically say this because she'll catch on fire, but can we all agree that a fuck ton is more than a ton?
Yeah, you're getting aggressive about it, so.
It's like, it's aggressive, so it's like there has to be more, or else why would you add
Yeah,
fuck?
30 people.
Yeah, it's like 30.
Go 10.
It's the number of people at your average orgy.
Wow. Come on, Lawrence. You
Damn,
got this.
30. Your orgy.
How
Yeah,
much
this
is too
that
much?
run.
Counter it. Counter it. Counter it. Oh, never mind. You already beat him. He fucking whooped his ass.
Second phase, he doesn't stagger. Oh shit.
Ooh, ballsy. Pull him. Yeah, there you go. Holy shit, Lawrence. Now, pull him. Or not. Okay.
I'm never ready for that one.
Because it looks exactly like the regular dash, which you can't
Yeah.
pull. Ooh,
It's
Lawrence.
very hard to time.
Pull. Yeah, Lawrence.
What's he gonna pull now?
Oh!
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 Ooh!
Oh, far away, buddy.
Get ready, counter. Counter. Yeah, yeah, Lawrence. Oh my god. Pull. Oh.
No! Oh,
right.
man.
I'm about to say you
Oh,
clearly got it. It's
good.
been less than 15 minutes, and you're there. You know, you almost got
yeah.
it. You're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Can you think of any other phrases that are used in place of like actual numerical values? Because the one that I was thinking of, because I know that you said like a couple is 2,
A
and
trunk
like
full.
that's not what I mean.
Truck full. Who's
A truck
A trunk full of people. No, a
or
trunk.
truckload, I think, because
I said trunk.
trunk. I don't think
Yes.
I've literally never heard
A
anybody use
trunk
that.
full of people.
That doesn't make any. That's one
that's
person.
that's a crime.
That's a crime, and that's one person. That's not many.
Yeah.
Well,
Trunk
'cause
full,
it-
I think, is a thing, though, right? Bus
Trunk full? Absolutely not.
Bus?
No.
Bus full of people. All right, now we're just thinking of vehicles.
Yeah, now you're
and
just
then
thinking of
full.
vehicles. You could say a truckload. Truckload is something.
Oh, okay. Truckload, okay.
Yeah, truckload is definitely a thing. That one you're totally okay with. But the reason why I was so confident, I guess, that couple would be 2 or 3 is that pair, P-A-I-R, has to be 2. Right? You can't
Pair
have a
of
pair
people?
of something that's not that, right?
I don't know. We don't really use pair that often, though, right?
yeah,
And,
I
like,
do all the time.
Like, what do we use pair for? But, like, couple usually refers to
Pair
people.
of
We don't
earrings.
say a pair of people.
No, you don't say a pair of people, but a pair of earrings, a pair of pencils, a pair of chairs. No, I'm just rhyming, but
Usually when we say
um,
pair, it feels like it indicates, like, identical,
you pair,
like a pair
you
of twins.
pair items together. Pair is a word
Yeah.
that people use. They do use it. They
No,
don't use
no,
it
I
as
know, but
often
it's-
as couple, but I think that's
I'm
because couple
saying it
applies in more
also-
contexts.
It also, I think, usually implies things that are typically identical in nature. So that's why we say a pair of twins.
Well, I would agree with that. I would say that more often than not, it's things that are identical, but it also could just be things that belong in a duo. You know,
True, if they
That not
start
the-
out as a
Zacian
duo,
and
it should be-
Zamazenta are a pair. You know, they're not
Yeah.
identical, but they're a pair of legendary Pokemon.
How interesting.
So
There you
that
go.
was my thing. Good job, by the way. Pick that shit up.
Give it to me.
Breath capacity has increased. You
I
need
can
one
breathe.
more of those to get your second Estus flask. So feel free to open your map and do some cool shit. Oh, you fell. About to say, I wasn't really planning on doing this today, so I don't have a list of like mini bosses and stuff to check out.
I mean,
so I
that's
think
fine.
just to remind you, in case you forgot, if you want to go back to the nerve cluster, which I think is below you, the nerve pass.
Right, because I got to talk to Ladman.
You need to
McGee.
talk to Forge guy, giant world shaper guy, and you're heading to the Servant's Pass. So, which you kind of already did, and then you just ignored. Which it, well, not ignored, but like you couldn't proceed, so it's fair. No, you can't go fast enough.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, that's so brutal.
Now we're.
The nerve passes
down
to your
there,
left and
okay.
down.
Thank you, Zach.
Oh, sorry, just reminding you.
I appreciate it, but I could also read the map.
Okay. So anyway, that's the reason why I said that a couple could be 2 or 3 or sometimes 4, because it's used for context outside of 2. It's most often used in the context of 2, but it's used for more than that sometimes.
I think its original context was 2. I think I prefer saying it like that. Its original context was 2,
Sure,
but now it's
so
used
you're gonna,
in, like,
so you're
yeah.
not, so if there's like a couple of people in line ahead of you, you're not gonna say that. You're gonna say that there's what, a few people in line ahead of you. I guess that's fair, but it is a little clunky.
Well, I'm basically saying what you're saying, but instead of saying like it mostly means 2, I'll say it originally meant 2, and now it like means a couple, like multiple.
I do think a
depending
couple
on
means a
where.
couple. Yes, I agree.
True.
What else? Are there other ones that are similar? Numerical what's-its?
A bushel?
A bushel? A bushel's interesting. But now obviously I'm thinking of bushel of bananas again, which is like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Unless you get like a
Bushel.
really good bushel of bananas, then it's like 30.
A bumble? No.
That's not a
A
thing.
bumble.
A bundle is though.
Which are words?
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
typically you
bushel
bundle
of
stuff
friends.
together, right? But you still get a bundle of something. So how much is a bundle of blank? I don't know. It's not an enormous number. I can tell you that.
I would say that's like a dozen.
Well, a dozen's a dozen, but bundle, I guess bundle more
Wow, look at
refers
Sharon.
to... I guess
commonly confused word.
I guess bundle... Oh my god, he's bored.
No, a couple.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is like basically
Am I
what
not
we're
interesting
talking
to
about.
you?
Okay, let me read out what this is saying. So a couple. Everyone seems to agree that a couple means 2. If you have a couple of options, you can safely assume that you will have to choose between A and B, and only A and B. Remember, I'm not saying this. This is what this thing is saying. A few. Here's where things tend to get confusing. I've asked different people how many they thought the word a few referred to. Their answers varied, so instead of a few, some insisted a few meant 3 and only 3. Some said it meant 3 or 4, or maybe more. The answer is that there is no hard answer and fast answer. What a few means to me might mean something else to someone else. Yeah. Okay. A few, some/several. Did we talk about some slash several?
That's a good one. Some or several. Several is sacrilegiously, I think several is anything less than 10 but more than 3.
Yeah, I was just about to say 4. It felt like 4 going up.
I feel 7 with several.
Well, because
Seven.
several
That's just
comes
wording.
from 7, so it obviously makes sense that it would most commonly be associated with something that's at least 7. But like, if you have like 5 books on a table, I would say that I have several books on the table, and that would make sense without being unreasonable. If you had 2 books on the table and you said I have several books, then I would look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
If you had
Okay,
30
and then
books on the table and you said I had several, I'm like, dude, you read too much.
That's way too. And then the last one they included was many.
I think we talked about many, didn't we? Or didn't we? Or I think we talked about a lot. Never mind.
So many, I think, is more than several.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Many and a lot are the same to me.
Many and a lot are the same to you. Okay.
Yeah.
I almost feel like many is open-ended, whereas a lot has like a limit. I don't know how to
Many
explain
also
that.
feels fancier to me. Like, oh, I have many
Shidra.
books, while I have a lot of books. Like, you're like being more direct about it in my mind.
No, you were
Maybe
probably
similar to what you
reading that
just
better
said.
than I was, Lawrence. But did he say that you get there through the Servant's Pass?
I think. I was kind of skimming.
Big ass sword.
Not enough. Sadness.
Your strength weapon. You got 1 blood metal shard. I believe the area that you're going into has a lot of blood metal shards, so you'll be fine.
I sure hope so.
Hey, I mean, you're doing a lot of damage.
Anyways.
It's just enemies in this game have a lot of health. You know? More strength! More strength! Yes!
Just bring it out there, and I'll do that.
And more stamina? Okay. All right. And like I don't, and you know, obviously the person writing whatever article you were just referring to is literally just doing the exact same thing we're doing now. But when they said the sentence, you have a couple of options, my brain immediately goes to 4. And that's just because that's typically the number of options that is presented to you on like multiple choice questions. So I think that that's just a like educational context. I don't know if that really applies to the word couple. I feel like if they had phrased it in a different way, I would have probably thought of 2, you know.
Maybe.
Because I'm realizing now that like we do have specific words, or kind of specific, like people don't really use them that much. But like we do have a term for 3 people that are all in a collective relationship, and that's a throuple. And then there's like quadruple, pentuple, hextuple, and you know, it obviously goes on from there.
That would be very niche though, and I don't.
And that's what I mean. Like it's
I
not
don't know
really,
whether or not
like it's a term that exists, but it's not
but
really.
I don't know. It's because they just made up the term, which is
every term has been made up.
I know, but like they made up, but it hasn't really. It's been accepted within their group, but maybe not everyone else's group, kind of. So it's like it's a legitimate word to them, but maybe not to anybody else.
I feel like thruple makes sense. I don't know about the rest of them. It gets a little complex after that. So look at this shit, dude. So the people,
got a couple of thruples here.
There's so many thruples. So the people who are born in the Boulder Pass or whatever that are deemed worthy enough come here and have all of their excess stone flesh chiseled away until they have their perfect, like, proportioned form, which is why most people that you see here are skinny as shit, because in order to achieve perfect form, they had to lose so much. And also, everybody's headless.
True, that is spooky.
Hello, Yon. At last, I am here, surrounded by true siblings. Full Metal Alchemist. Anyway,
No, God.
not just some uglies who whimper. Is that a lung?
A lung?
Yeah, on the like so top right of the
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
it's like a spine with a lung, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Anyway, oh fuck.
Oh shit. My bad.
Oh, returning servant or crude. Crude for now.
I don't like that thumbs up he's giving me.
Yes. The painted offerings are yours, I imagine. Well, step forward, crude, and kneel.
He's already on
Be
it.
broken and reformed anew.
Oh, there's someone in the chair.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's the path keeper. So yeah, there goes Jan's head. Go to the back and wait. A servant will come for you soon with your fragments.
Damn, dude.
And you, the counterfeit. Yes, by Shidra's will you may pass. However, expect no further protection on the path. The servant's wrath will be yours to bear.
Alright, fellas.
Good luck, Lawrence. Now, I'll remind you once again, what are all these fabrics made out of?
Wasn't it like nerve tissue?
Yeah,
or
nerve
like
fibers.
Nerve fibers. Gross. Like gross Scoob.
Like gross Scoob! Holy shit, dude! This entire world is fucked up.
Yeah.
And once again, I'll point out, look how cool it is. Everything here is like stoneworked and stuff. Once again, I know that everything in this game is kind of gray, but it is cool that you head deeper. And look, there's an Aurora Borealis!
Damn, there is. Look at that.
Aurora Borealis?
Wow.
And this part of the body. Oh shit. And this time of... Who the fuck? He didn't even toss it at me. He tossed it short. Alright.
Oh no. Boop boop.
Now I'm trying to think of like more banter topics that we can just like chit chat about. And obviously there was a pretty big one, but I'm like, we're not talking about that.
What's the big one?
We're not talking about it.
Oh yeah, we're not talking.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. If you're unaware of what the big news from today is, Lawrence, I suggest you turn on the news. It's probably all they're talking about.
Oh, all right.
Crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff.
I was saying, don't tell me to not like that. I don't watch the news. Just if you're giving me literally nothing.
I'm just like, there's obviously, like, I don't know. It's true that from an external perspective, I could literally be talking about anything, but you know, there's like the one really big thing from today. What to talk about instead? I don't know. The guy who's been quote unquote leaking all of the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet stuff. I think because he's a prolific leaker from like many generations ago. No, he hasn't been neutralized. I think he's just I genuinely think that he has this tactic where he purposely shares bad info occasionally, so that way people will get thrown off the trail, right? Because if everything is perfectly accurate, then maybe like...
Are you telling me Sprigatito is not going to be on two legs?
Well, that's the thing, is that like people like I did want to bring that up. It's red. You can't. I don't think you can deflect it. But some people have been theorizing that is one of his lies. And I don't know. I would genuinely be happy with that if it was a lie. But
yes,
but that being said, I don't know. I feel pretty confident in the idea that it's gonna be a two-legged swashbuckler thing. It's gonna be it's gonna be Zorocat. I think it's pretty obvious.
No!
I'm really sorry.
No!
But I think it's pretty self-evident.
Can we switch anyone else to be on 4? I think maybe no, I don't know. I don't want it to be the thing of like everyone is all bipedal now forever.
Well, and I think that was one of the discussions that was particularly interesting, was that once again, I think a lot of people within the Pokemon community, and because like the Pokemon community has been fractured since Sword and Shield, since like the Dexit event, where now the Pokemon community, there are the people, like everybody within the Pokemon community loves Pokemon, but there's like the group of people who are really hypercritical about everything, me, and then there are the people who just, no matter what, defend Nintendo and everything Game Freak does, because fuck you, it's a video game. And those people are just as ridiculous, but in a completely like opposite direction. And so there was the thing where, you know, the rumors came out about what the final evolutions of the starters were going to be. And it was another set of bipedal humanoid things, sans a lava T-Rex, right? And now that being said, if Fuecoco or whatever turns into the lava Godzilla-esque thing that it's rumored to turn into, I would be super okay with that. I think that design is super interesting.
It's already bipedal, so yeah.
Right. Well, but you know, there's a difference between like a regular humanoid and like a dinosaur. You know what I mean? They do genuinely look different.
Less humanoid. That's what I want.
And that was exactly what I was getting. What I was getting at was that the discussion, like between the people in the community who were reasonable, the discussion became not that people don't want bipedal Pokemon. They just want, like, this group just wants less humanoid Pokemon, because
and
like,
that may be a thing that I'm
because you got like just think about it. In Gen 1 you had Charizard and Blastoise were both bipedal. You know what I mean?
We talked about it. Really, through the old gens, 2 of them were bipedal, and one of them
typically 2 of them were
Sword.
bipedal and one of them was quadrupedal.
Yeah, and
that's
those
typically
were
how
fine.
and that's totally fine, because the vast majority of final evolutions for the starters looked more like animals than people instead of people animals, right?
Yeah.
Because Rillaboom just looks like a drummer gorilla. And that's it. Like, there's nothing really.
Inteleon, sniper guy.
Inteleon just looks like a secret agent lizard. You know what I mean? And once again,
Cinderace is just a bunny that happens to be a soccer player.
And once again, this criticism can be flipped back in on itself, where it's like, well, what's Charizard? He's a red dragon. And it's like, yeah, but
It's
there's
still
something.
a creature.
Yeah, it's a creature, exactly, and that's what I'm getting at. It's not like
Not a person.
right. It's not a dude.
Not a genre of people.
Was there a surrogate up there?
I already grabbed it, my man.
That was a question, Lawrence. You don't need to get sassy with me, because I was gonna say congratulations. I forgot it was there. I thought you had to go much deeper in to get the surrogate. Anyway, I don't know, because like, I'm super into the idea of the duck turning into like a sailor / pirate. I think that's super cool. I love it. Mostly because sailors / pirates are cool in general. But I don't know. There's just something. I don't know. There is genuinely something where it's like, how many generations do you have to go backwards before you get to a creature final evolution? I think you have to go all the way back to Gen 5. Because in Gen 6, you had the fire starter turned into a witch. The water starter turned into...
She didn't entirely look like a witch, though. Like, it wasn't like...
No, but I mean, she still was a fox witch, is what I'm saying.
No, I know. So that's the crossover is, like, the humanoid thing, but the outcome didn't look all humanoid. It's like they didn't just put a witch hat on a fox.
I don't necessarily agree. I would agree to the extent that she looked less like a person and more like a creature, but it still did look like an animal crossed with a person, the person being a witch. Because then you got Greninja, who was just a frog ninja, which, by the way, super awesome design, but it's still just a animal person. And then you had Chestnut, who was a rodent
tank.
Well, he's a knight. He's supposed to be a big, like, tanky knight dude. If you look at him, he looks like he's wearing like full plate armor. But he's like a no, he's not an armadillo. He's a chipmunk thing. But once again, these are like, all 3 of them were just animal cross person. And what were they in Gen 7? Gen 7, you got a mermaid. Well, you got a seal mermaid, which I don't know. Maybe a mermaid counts as a person, but I also think it's just a creature.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then what was the other guy?
You got Decidueye, which is an owl crossed with Robin Hood, and then you had Incineroar, who was a tiger crossed with a luchador.
Yeah, so
or professional
I think
wrestler.
Out of all of them, the only one that's like low would be Primarina.
Primarina is more of a creature, I think, than the rest of them. Mostly because it doesn't have 2 legs, I guess.
I think
when I'm
it
thinking
also
about
has
it.
But they still all have like a higher sense of, I think, intelligence that I feel like comes along with cross people, like humanoid intelligence almost.
Like when you're hanging out with Swampert, right? Swampert feels like a creature who you are befriending, whereas like Cinderace feels a little too close to just a furry.
You know, with like Torterra. Like Torterra just feels like a giant turtle.
It's just a
guy.
big fuck you turtle, and I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, but like you said, like I feel like Inteleon be smarter than me. Man.
Absolutely. And you know, some Pokemon are specifically smarter than humans, but like it's still a little weird. Like Empoleon, it is bipedal. It is true, but it's clearly just a penguin. Like it's a penguin with metal blades on it, as opposed to a person, which once again I think is great. I think that that's exactly what it should be. And then what was the other one? The other one was Infernape, which is just Wukong, Sun Wukong. So, I don't know. That one you can criticize any which way you want, but Sun Wukong is always a fucking sick design in any video game that it's in. Oh, that's the map. There it is. I'm trying to think, what else? What was Gen 3? Gen 3 was Swampert, Sceptile, and Blaziken. Blaziken is a furry. Genuinely, but
True,
it also has a chicken head.
But he was a rarity in the midst
of... At the time, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's like a mini-boss.
Wild health bar, my man.
I love, it looks like fucking Cat in the Hat's hat.
I'm good. I just want my map.
I just want my map. Oh, that one. Oh my god, can you fucking suck up the spikes? Because why is that spike red and the other ones are white?
I don't know. I
think
like
you can deflect the spikes.
I don't want.
Dead.
Ah, that hurty.
Oh my god, it's right there. Yeah, he did it. Oh, and there's a dude. But yeah, I agree with you, Saba. At the time, Blaziken was a rarity because Sceptile, once again, bipedal, but very clearly feels more like a reptilian creature as opposed to a person.
Yeah.
So there's that. We already talked about Gen 4. What the fuck was Gen 2? Gen 2 had Meganium, which is straight up just a dinosaur, which is awesome. Then you have Typhlosion.
I loved Meganium.
Meganium's awesome. I love Meganium's design. I think Meganium sucks as a Pokemon, but I think it's a great design. And then you got fucking Feraligatr, which is just Godzilla. And then you have Water Godzilla, which is awesome. And then you have Typhlosion. And once again, Typhlosion is one of the most popular starters ever.
But he's just a blob. And he's like a stretched blob. He's Long Cat almost.
Well, I think he's quite literally supposed to be based on, like, or at least Cyndaquil was based on a porcupine, and then they literally just keep stretching him out evolution after evolution. But yeah, I don't know, like Typhlosion, and we talked about this before, but like Typhlosion was a particularly interesting design because it was just kind of this weird blob thing whose entire design was held together by the spiky flames that came out of its neck. You know what I mean? And since it moved to 3D and they like took that away, now his design is so much weaker.
Yeah, because that's the thing, because the initial stuff is supposed to be like the stance you always see the Pokemon in, but now it's like, oh, you have to see Pokemon in neutral activities, and it's just like, yeah.
I do, but the thing that confuses me, I guess, in terms of Typhlosion is that I'm confused why they don't just make his default stance him raging out with the flames, because that's the idea, is that the flames come out when he's mad, and it's like, just make him like kind of mad all the time.
Or why not just have the flames out constantly and he can like turn it on like a burner furnace and just like
genuinely I think that would be a better decision for what they could do.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's he's alerting the guards.
He trapped me. Oh shit.
That was scary, man.
That was kind of fucked. Good job, Lawrence.
Bark, boys.
What the fuck was that? Was that a nail?
Oh shit, that hurt me more.
Ooh. Oh, he fucking overhead tracked you. Now we're in the Dark Souls, dude.
Now we're here.
Oh, that's
literally
so
because
good.
the lighting is very dark as well.
Yeah, he's in a dark place.
And my soul
is crushed.
That's it. Yeah.
Your soul.
What else? So what do we just talk about? We just talked about Gen 2. with Typhlosion and stuff like that. Then we had Gen 5, which Gen 5 had Superior, which is very clearly just like, it's just a snake. Embor is interesting because it's supposed to look like a Chinese warlord. Which
so
is,
yeah, he's more human-like, I would say.
He's more humanoid. He looks like a pig warlord, though. Like, I would believe that. And then Samurott, despite not liking his design, he does look like a creature. And it's mostly because he's quadrupedal, but I don't know. I feel like that design would have served being on 2 legs as opposed to 4. But, then we get to Gen 6, which Gen 6, we already talked about. All of them are bipedal humanoids. Gen 7 has Primarina, which is a mermaid, so that's its own thing. Gen
like
8...
the rarity is now the creature. Like, I feel like we flipped.
Right, exactly. And I guess this has just been a long... Well, it fills time, but I guess this has just been a long, rambly segment about how it used to be rare. Like, you're super right. It used to be rare to have humanoid furry designs, and now it's like the norm, and the rarity is the creature. And that is a genuine thing that happened somewhere around Gen 6.
Yeah, I don't know if as we said, I don't think we like it that much.
Blood metal chunk? Isn't that above what you need to upgrade your shit?
Might be. I got no clue.
Those things will fuck you up. Look at, they're fucking burning hot. Oh my god. Oh, hello.
Please, I'd like it if the projectiles are coming from a place I can see.
An arm for a thread, please. I have nothing to work with. Oh, do you recognize this?
Oh my god, it is Yon.
Someone.
Oh my god, he's tall.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Right? Because he went through the chiseling process, but then as part of the chiseling process, they're like, well, we need to sculpt you more. So they also add stone after that initial chiseling.
Say, he's got legs now.
He's got legs for fucking days.
Oh, so they do get heads. They just have to.
That's why everybody's wearing these. There's lore. We'll get to that probably by Sunday, I would assume. But there is lore that explains like what they're doing here, like why this process works the way that it does. But we can't really do that until he beats the palace. So we'll get there eventually. What's that item? My threads were stolen again, and a palace apprentice is coming soon for an inspection. You have already received a batch for the next 2 quakes. Oh, it's this other guy. It's the Stitcher that's talking. Do you not hear me? It was stolen! Then steal it back from them.
True,
or
it's
another.
like we delivered. It's not our problem anymore if you lose it.
Enough! Before I decide you are more suited to be material yourself.
So mean.
A withered Stitcher chest. No idea if that's worth anything to you, but it's cool, right? Because it was like, because the guy was like, Yon, go to the back of the line, and then he's here.
And then he's here, yeah.
The last one. Because you're just strength, right? So I don't think the Stitcher vest helps you at all. Yeah, so it gives you health and dexterity and strength. Actually, that's not bad. It could be a lot worse, but I don't know. Because what are you wearing right now? You're wearing the big fuck you teeth one?
Yeah, that's
which
all
is 15% strength. Ooh, yeah. That's tough. I don't know.
It's tough to beat.
15% strength is pretty good.
Pretty beefy.
But yeah, I don't know, cause like it's oh my god,
DOT, are you?
Oh my goodness, that's so sad. You're doing great though.
This game's getting a very stern review at the end. I swear to God.
Is it a little tough? Is it a little tough?
It's tough in the wrong aspects.
It like genuinely, it's like I found it to be tough in the exact same ways that that Dark Souls is tough. It's just as unfair and unforgiving. The only difference from my perspective, is that this game only gives you a 2-dimensional world to interact with, whereas Dark Souls gives you 3. So in Dark Souls, you have more options to deal with bullshit, whereas in this, things will form like walls, if that makes sense. Because like in Dark Souls, you have archers that shoot you from off screen, right? Like fucking Anne Orlando is infamous for that shit. But which is literally what these are based on, by the way. But the difference is that the archers in Anne Orlando, you have the option of going forward, back, left, right, any which way. Whereas in this, it's a line. And if you're hitting that line at the wrong time, you're gonna hurt like a lot.
Yep.
But anyway, sorry. So, you know what, Saba? Your statement of creatures have become the unusual design. Oh my goodness. Have become the oh, you just dashed to get rid of it.
At least for the main 3, I will say.
Well, that's what. Well, because the thing is that if the rumors about the final evolutions of the Scarlet and Violet starters are to be believed, 2 of them are humanoid animal creatures, and the 3rd one is a creature.
Yeah.
Right, because it's grass Zoro, pirate,
water pirate, and then a
fire T-Rex.
chunky flaming dinosaur.
Yeah. So actually your assessment's super correct. It's like more often than not, it's humanoid designs, which I think is the thing that people find frustrating.
True, and then the new creatures they make have become are like almost first tier now. It's just a pig.
It's just a pig. It's just a black pig crying honey. That's all it is.
It's just an olive plant.
Well, I mean, they had that. They had that in Gen 8, right? They had Stonejourner, right? Stonejourner is just a whatchamacallit. It's just a Spanish. What was it? A Spanish hamster? What was it? Oh, you're talking about the other one that they revealed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, fucking your favorite Pokemon from Gen 8, Sinistea. That's literally just an object. And I love most Objectmon. I think Objectmon are really cute. For the most part, as long as the object is like good, I guess.
Poltegeist, I do love it.
Poltegeist is great. I think Poltegeist is cool. I think that there should be many, many, many regional forms of Poltegeist. I agree. I want. Yeah,
we did that for our Pokemon thing that still doesn't exist.
That's true. It never will because I don't have any energy at the end of an 8-hour shift anymore. But unless someone else wants to do the editing.
I made, what was it, matcha. an extra, like a tea flavored green tea.
A tea flavored Poltegeist, yep.
Yeah, a green tea. I know there was matcha. I remember showing you someone else made like a coffee design.
Yeah, like espresso coffee. I like that one. It was Dark Ghost, I think, was their was their typing for it, and I thought that was great. Lawrence is so scared of these needles, dude.
Because it clearly catches you when you jump, so I have to time that shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, you were good, Lawrence.
Yeah, but I doubted it.
Hey, Lawrence, can you dash through the spike as it's coming at you?
Probably.
Talking not too fast. Da, 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 da.
Shut up, Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the thing is that I don't necessarily think that I would begrudge the Pokemon designers for being like uncreative or whatever. I genuinely just think that it's easier to come up with genuinely likable final starter designs, like ones that are really easily marketable, if they're like vaguely humanoid.
The thing is,
I almost wonder if they ran out of creatures in a way.
Maybe, but I'm wondering like
what stupid. No, they're
like
didn't.
Told when they create these guys, because it's like I'm trying to think about like I feel like Pokemon has its own feel to it versus like with Digimon, it's right.
Yeah, Digimon Digimon has its own feel because everything is just like a dude, and I don't just mean like because Pokemon kind of look like furries. Everything in Digimon is just a guy. Like this cute little fluff ball digivolves into a guy with fucking skin tight spandex underwear and a gun for a hand, and then that's like and then that's a digivolve form, and it's like why, you know?
So I don't know. It feels like I don't want Pokemon to feel less like Pokemon and more like just, oh, this is a creature design.
I think it's felt less like Pokemon
design.
for a while. Like depending on what, like, because I think the point of each generation is to slowly change what Pokemon feels like, genuinely. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I like that though, man, because the original thing was so good in of itself. Why would you want to?
Well,
like,
there were some things about Gen 1 and Gen 2 and even Gen 3, which is where I started, that
felt a little unfair.
That was a little rough. There are some things about Gen 1, 2, and 3 that, like, when you compare them to the design aspects of today, do feel a little obtuse for no particular reason. Like, I don't know. When's the last time you went back to Gen 1 and just looked at what the level... Oh, my goodness. And just looked at what the level maps looked like? Because, like, the level maps... Yeah, like, the level maps, like, I want to say, like, 3 out of every 5 level maps are literally just the equivalent of a big room with a bunch of walls where every time 2 walls meet, a trainer is directly pointed at that gap so that way they can get you in a battle. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, and I mean the map stuff. I have no qualms about. Better.
Well, that's part of the
design,
thing that makes
so.
Pokemon feel the way it does. You know, it is like how you adventure through the world. Because I'm trying to think. Like, I think Gen 4 might be the last time that a Pokemon game felt like a genuine adventure. Because almost every Pokemon game after that has just been straight lines. Like you're constantly just going from point A to point B, and if you try to diverge from point A to point B, there's like people in the walkway that are preventing you from leaving, or there are people who, like Team Rocket is in this city, so you're not allowed to pass through. I'm thinking about you probably remember, it was kind of a meme for a while, but in Gen 6 they have this ridiculous thing where it's like, oh, sorry, you're not allowed to travel to the deeper parts of the city because the power is out. Despite the fact that behind him, the power is clearly on and totally fine. You know what I mean? And that's just like a level of, like, I don't necessarily want to call it laziness, but like you literally could have just changed his phrasing and you would have been fine. Oh, Lawrence is sick of this guy's shit. He is going after him. I think this guy respawns too, by the way.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's not a mini boss.
Well, he's probably going to be gone for now. So once you just go too far, you probably don't have to deal with it
don't have to worry about him for a long time. I don't even remember if there's another. Oh, never mind. Fuck. Because I obviously want Lawrence to have a good time with this game.
I think if you die, he'll probably respawn Lawrence. Yeah. So.
He's got a health bar. He's done it. See, given enough time with enemies that aren't, like, kind of fucking with Lawrence from long distance, Lawrence got this. Like, Lawrence is a gamer. Like, he's good. It takes him like 3 tries to, like, learn like an enemy's pattern. And then he's totally... Oh my god! What the fuck was that? Did you see it fucking rewind?
Oh my god, there's so many projectiles.
That was awesome.
I stopped time, bitch.
He's done it. Congratulations, Lawrence. Oh, you can get that. Yeah. It was an unformed head.
Now give me a checkpoint, please. I don't want to deal with that.
What was the last Pokemon game that you played, Saba? I guess you were there with us when we played Gen 5, right?
Yeah,
we played it on stream.
I was at the beginning of
a Motley Pearl.
Alpha Sapphire.
Even Alpha Sapphire upsets me because they turned Gen 3, which was genuinely an open experience. Like, you would have a goal where it's like, hey, you're supposed to get here and do this, but there were so many things that you could do simultaneously that would just not progress the story at all.
Do you remember how I was like, I'm stuck because they've given me a system to which the more I try to do something, the more I know, and it'll tell me whether or not it's better, and so I'm just stuck trying to get the best thing possible in like one
that was your neuroses wholesale. Yeah. But because I fucking loved their version of the Pokemon radar. I thought it was really cool. I actually felt like it genuinely saved me a lot of time because I could get an above average Pokemon as opposed to the perfect Pokemon. But that being said, I can definitely, do I agree with the mentality of somebody who's like, I need to use this to get the perfect Pokemon? No. But I super see it happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I felt it a couple
almost
times.
not in my control, you know? It's just kind of like, but if I look a little bit harder, then I'll get
Congratulations, Lawrence. You made it to the
exclamation mark
palace.
for everything.
I think this will be it for today, since there's
Sure,
only
you
3
want to
minutes
just pause
left.
for a second? Well, I mean, just for your playtime, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I hope to grab 3 more minutes. So, how do you feel, Lawrence? You
I
made
think
it
he's
through
a
the
little
Servant's
frustrated.
Pass
Servant's Pass is pretty short, which is pretty good.
compared to like the fucking Undermine or whatever the hell it was called, the one with all the
nerve
teeth.
root or the teeth, those were too long. This one has the same amount of frustration, but shorter, so it had some points.
So genuinely, I think I think this was just an unfortunate circumstance. One of the things with Nerve Pass is that you were supposed to relatively early on, because like you when you went into Nerves Pass, it kind of does scoop you off to the left hand side of the map, right? But if you went, instead of going to the left, if you had went right, it immediately puts you into one of those situations where you can pull on the nerve cluster to stop electricity in that area. And you were then supposed to go, oh, okay. And then you're supposed to find those. Like if you find an area that has electricity, you're supposed to like, oh, okay. And then pull on the nerve cluster and turn off the electricity. And then that would lead you to the surrogate, which so like you went to the left and then to the right and then to the left and then to the right, and then that's eventually where you found like the surrogate and the map and stuff like that. Whereas if you had gone to the right, it would be right, down to the surrogate, and that's how it was supposed to work theoretically. But you made the very real decision of going left instead, and it's like, yeah, that's totally fair. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with that. And then beyond that, the tooth area just sucks. It's awful. It's long, it's annoying, and I super agree with that. The boss fight's not even that really cathartic at the end because it's kind of just a big bird. But you know, it's literally the bottom of the game. It's the deepest that you go in the game. And your progress through Servant's Pass, you'll notice that you have been slowly inclining, and now you are at a literal elevator. I can tell you that that's not just a metaphor. It is quite genuinely representative of everything in the game. Up from here is just pure bliss, at least in my opinion. I think everything from this point is super cool. It's a lot of like platforming and boss fights as opposed to like shitty enemies.
So you had to struggle to get here, but after this point, the game will get good. He promises, Lawrence.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, in my opinion, I think the game has been good the whole time. It's just purposefully the last couple of areas have been more unforgiving for the catharsis that these next couple areas give you. I think the palace is my second favorite area of the game, and my favorite area of the game has only one fight in it, I think. So like I don't even know if that really counts as an area per se. But anyway, good job, Lawrence. You made it through Servant's Pass in like an hour, which is excellent progress. I genuinely think, based on the progress that you made today, that you'll probably make it to the end of the palace tomorrow. I don't know if you're gonna beat the palace. It's tough. It's you know,
I still have this objective down here, and I'm like,
you'll see how to get there eventually. But yeah, good job. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more Professor Layton, more voice acting. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have a fun time. But yeah. And then after Professor Layton, we'll do more of this. And then on Sunday, Lawrence might be within spitting distance of... I want to say he'd be within spitting distance of the end of the game. And that's purely because we have seen that Lawrence struggles more with area challenges, but thrives in boss challenges. And I think for the most part, the most difficult parts of the game after this are bosses as opposed to areas. So
that's good.
Yeah.
So I think you have to stop with the archers, the projectiles.
What
'Cause,
in the
like, when
in the tooth area, there weren't really like there were bomb lobbers,
There were.
right, and stuff, and there were like the little trap guys that would like nibble at your feet. But this area had the like literally inspired by the Anor Londo archers.
The difference with the Anor Londo archers is that if you're behind a wall, you're safe. This
True.
one,
In this
you're
one, there's not
fucked.
many walls.
There's no walls. No, there's literal walls, but arrows go through walls, which is
They go through
I don't know
the
why.
platforms. Yes, that is true.
Don't know why they chose that. That just makes it so frustrating.
It's supposed to be tough, you know. That's kind of the thing. But anywho, good work, everybody. I really enjoyed our conversation, Saba. I know it was mostly just me rambling, but I always enjoy talking about Pokemon with you. So we'll be back tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Exit game.
Exit game.
Lawrence is fucking he's
Disconnect
taking control
game.
of the computer.
I
All right,
will
good night.
always take control of the computer.